All right, on special teams, of course, it's not a stretch to say that Torrey Taylor. I saw one article today as I was kind of reviewing the specialists that called him the one of the best punters in program history. He's one of the best punters in the history of college football. So
Yeah.
he moves on, and of course, Marshall Meter is the backup kicker, and Drew Stevens missed some kicks last year. He's got to be a little bit tighter in 24.
I think he'll figure it out. I've been told that and this was I haven't talked to anybody about this recently, but I think probably 3 or 4 weeks ago I was told pretty good authority that Iowa was likely going to go to the portal at kicker in the spring. Now they're going to be bringing whoever they bring in as a walk on. So like right now, Trip Woody, the freshman out of North Carolina, is listed. I don't think they want to go into fall camp with Trip Woody. Now maybe Trip looks really good during the spring. That'd be great. But I don't think Marshall Meter came in and hit a big kick against Nebraska. If they could get another Marshall Meter, maybe even a little bit better than Marshall Meter, that may be hard to sell because you have a 2-year starter in Drew Stevens ahead of him. And I think Drew. I mean, I'm not that concerned with Drew. I know he struggled a little bit late in the year. He's dealing with an injury. The line wasn't very good. Not making excuses for him, but just reality. So a kicker, I would guess that they'll grab somebody, bring somebody in as a walk on, and then Reese Dakin, the new kicker from Melbourne. I mean, he's had all kinds of hype out of high school from this Pro Kick Australia camp. It's the same organization where Torrey Taylor came from. And you look at the kid on tape. We remember when he first committed. You and I looked at some clips from him, and you're just really impressed by the sheer force, the power coming off this kid's leg. But as Kirk brought out today, boy, they're replacing, and as you brought out, they're replacing a great one. So I have a hard time expecting Dakin to be Torrey Taylor, but for now, LeVar Woods is still part of this staff. Remember, he interviewed for the Bucks job not that long ago, didn't get it. And I've been told on pretty good authority he's going to be here, barring something completely unforeseen. He's going to be the special teams guy moving forward, but I don't know that he's going to be here past this season. So focusing on now, I mean, I like what they've got. Luke Elkin comes back as long snapper. We didn't get any indication of who's going to be returning kicks because I'm sure they don't know that yet. Caleb Brown's probably in the mix. Caleb Johnson's returned kickoffs in the past. They lose Cooper DeJean, who's a phenomenal punt returner. So, who fills in there? Maybe it's one of the young wideouts. I don't see Jazz Patterson listed. That's one thing I didn't ask Tom about. A little bit curious as to that. Not to say we need to read into that. I know we're kind of segueing into a different position, but Jazz, there were rumors at one point that he may leave. Not saying he will, but you only play so many guys. And I the other thing I'm intrigued by, and this goes to special teams as well. Tom brought up Eli Miller, who's going to be backing up Van Wetzing at fullback, with Hayden Large now officially being listed as a tight end, and that's his natural position. He's a 6'4", 6'5" guy. I do wonder, maybe we'll see some Hayden Large on special teams in some form, whatever that looks like, because he is a big physical guy who played a lot last year. So I mean, I have more confidence, I think, than some do in Drew Stevens just kind of bouncing back. I know his Drew Stevens mindset. He is what you want as a kicker as it relates to mentality. He's just going to flush it and keep moving forward, very low key. I know his dad on social media has vented some frustration in the past. Drew's been seen spinning a football on his finger as he's about to kick, almost nonchalant about it. But that's also part of that mentality of just staying relaxed. And, this moment's no bigger than any other. So I like him from that perspective. He's obviously got the leg to play at this level, and I think beyond. But depth at both positions is going to be questionable. Ty Nissen from Carroll is the backup punter. Go ahead, Mark.
Unless I'm missing something, what could possibly be the criticism of Drew Stevens spinning a football on his finger on social media?
I don't think his dad has been critical of that specifically, but his dad, I think, has been deservedly so a little bit critical of just maybe not being as down to business as you need to be prior to a kick or
Is this video of him doing it on the sideline before he goes out
there.
to
There's
attempt a field
video of
goal?
There's video of Drew Stevens on the sideline spinning the football on his finger, dancing on the sidelines. Like, I get it. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong, but he did struggle down the stretch. So, maybe lock in a little bit different. But man, we've always been told, Mark, that you got to be a different kind of person to be a kicker. Kind of like I think you got to be a different kind of person to be a fullback. Like you kind of have to be a maniac. And there
Yeah.
are some maniacs that have been through Iowa at that kicking position or that fullback position. And then there's these kickers that look like they should be working in the library somewhere, because again, it takes a special type of cat. So, yeah, I mean, I always wonder who's going to be returning kicks and punts. That's always usually my biggest question mark because you have pretty much. I have great confidence in LeVar's ability to evaluate kicking because they've been so good in both respects for so long. But I do wonder now, who's going to be returning kicks and punts, and how do you replace Cooper DeJean, his playmaking ability? Oh, by the
Which
way,
which
it was not a fair catch. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say this affords me the opportunity to say, are they going to be working on fair catch signals during the spring? And anyone who missed my analysis, no, I do believe that that was a horrible call, so I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Don't
I
jump
love
on me.
these fights that still are happening on social media that I see every once in a while. Pictures of Cooper DeJean doing this and people saying, "It was the right call, quit complaining."
Yeah, there was something you pointed out to me, just it was only like a month ago, and I'm like, "Seriously? They're still
I
oh,
know.
that wasn't correct. That wasn't."
Well, I think it's fair to say that that mistake probably won't happen again. Not that it would probably happen anyways because it was so unprecedented, but I'm guessing that Iowa especially you won't see that happen again.
PJ Fleck had to get one win against Iowa before he moves on or gets fired or something.
Yeah, where's he at? Isn't he still at Minnesota?
Oh, he's still in Minnesota. I'm just throwing
He's in
out
the
the
running for these.
possibility that this would be his only win against Iowa.
Hey, are you going to the Big Ten? Are you going to Big Ten Media Days this year?
I'm going to have a lot further to travel, but I will look into it.
Where is it at? Is it Minneapolis?
No, Indianapolis.
Oh, it's Indy. Oh, are you sure it's Indy?
I'm almost positive. That's where it's been
Okay.
forever.
Yeah, I didn't. I just know that. Well, I just knew that the big, like the men's and women's basketball tournaments were moved to Minneapolis, or rotating, and I figured at some point we're going to get Big Ten Media Days out in California. So that's why I didn't know. Um,
No, I'm almost
yeah,
positive. I'm almost positive it's still Indianapolis this year.
PJ is he's always in the running for these different jobs, um, and yet he always seems to stay. Isn't that interesting?
He does.
Maybe it's because he's not actually good enough to leave. Is that possible?
No, it's not it's possible, but that's not the case. He is good
Oh,
enough
okay.
to leave.
He's good enough to get one of these high profile jobs? Was
I
he
don't
good
know
enough
that
to
UCLA is much more high profile than Minnesota. It's a more coveted location, but
Yeah. Well,
they
it's
haven't been a
more
better football team.
it's more of the, "Hey, look at me, I'm in the spotlight" type of job
Yeah, it
than
fits
Minneapolis.
him, you would think.
Yeah.